Kekkei Genkais in the world of Naruto have never been shy to show how powerful they truly are. I mean, we have things like Haku's Ice Relieves, Lava Scorch, Magma Release, Magnet Release. Pretty much having a Kekkei Genkai in part 1 of Naruto made you so broken. So imagine if we took that and times it by 10, gave Naruto the ability of black holes. How powerful would this make Naruto? You guys are gonna have to watch the entire series to find out. But for now, if you guys are going to enjoy today's part, make sure to slap the like button because today's like goal is gonna be 1,000 likes. So once you guys smash that, I'll be sure to hit you guys with a part 2. That said, enjoy.
Hey Ross, sauce it up.
We started the story off in the perspective of Hinata. Now, Hinata would have just been chilling, forming a snow angel on the ground when suddenly a group of 5 boys walked by. They immediately start saying awful comments such as, "Ugh, what is you wearing?" And another one would like, "Not even that, look at her eyes." Another one would say, "Yeah, you look like a ghost, what a freak, you have no pupils." And immediately all of these kids would start spouting nonsense insults at her, just trying to get a rise out of her, right? Just to hurt her feelings, because that's just how kids are once they get to the age where they want to look cool in front of others. They love to put each other down to put themselves up, right? And that's what they were doing, right? They're making fun of Hinata until suddenly her knight in shining armor, Naruto Uzumaki, arrives. Now Naruto immediately, once watching the situation go down, looks towards the direction of the boys and says, "Hey, leave her alone." And the kids would look at Naruto and say, "Huh, look at that, you got the demon coming to your rescue." "Oh no, I'm so scared, it's the demon," they would say, as Naruto appears and says, "Cut it out, I just want you guys to leave her alone." They would say, "Fine, we'll leave her alone, and we'll just do to you what we were gonna do to her," as immediately they rush at Naruto and one of the little bullies would punch Naruto in the face. Then they would grab a hold of Naruto's arms and just begin pummeling him, eventually dropping him down to the ground where they would start kicking at him, and Naruto would get down in the fetal position as he tries to guard his, vital areas, right? Now, eventually a minute of this would pass and the boys would say, "Come on, let's leave him alone, he's had enough." They start walking away and Naruto gets up slowly and weakly as he says, "I'm not done." From here, one of the boys says, "Let's teach him another lesson then, guys. If he wants to sign off on his death, why should we stop him?" As from here, the boys would proceed to rush in at Naruto once more, and Naruto extends his arm out with his palm open as he says, "Stay away!" And immediately a small black orb would appear in the middle of nowhere. Now this orb would begin to expand out of nowhere, and immediately it would start pulling in the kids with such a powerful force that the kids would have no answer to it and immediately get sucked into it. This orb would begin expanding more and more as another kid would go into it. And eventually, Naruto closes his hand as the orb itself would stop after having pretty much dragged the kids in and almost actually dragging Hinata in, and a bunch of trees would have actually shot into that. It would be at this moment that Hinata looked so terrified at Naruto and she would run away off to her caretaker, as Naruto would remain there and run back to his house. It would be on this day that Hinata would realize that Naruto, he's a monster. And this time around, Hinata will not love Naruto. Instead, she's going to be scared of him. She's going to think he's a freak. She's going to think that he is a demon. And what would you think if you saw somebody kill 5 kids that you knew in front of you? Regardless of whether they bullied you, I'm pretty sure you'd probably think be scared of the one who killed them, right? And that's exactly the situation that Hinata's being put in right now. She is terrified. She is so scared. And because of this, Naruto just goes home. This day would change Naruto in a way that nobody could have ever imagined. No longer would that goofy kid who would act like he wants attention be there, and instead he would be filled with a shell of himself. He would be quiet, not really be too outgoing. He can't even look at Hinata because he feels shame every time that he looks upon her. He can't even sleep at night because every time that he closes his eyes, he thinks back to that day where he took the lives of all 5 boys and nobody knew it was him. Not even Hinata said something. There would be days where Naruto wished she did so he could have the just punishment for it. But Hinata never did. Maybe it was out of fear, or maybe, just maybe, she thought that it wasn't his fault. But that doesn't matter to Naruto, as eventually Naruto would find himself in his room thinking about things deeply, until a knock at the door would be heard, and Hiruzen would walk inside as he would say, "Naruto boy, it's the day that I'm gonna give you your monthly rent, right?" And from here, Naruto would be given clothes expenses, food expenses, and the apartment that he stays in would be paid for. As Naruto looks to Hiruzen, and right as he's about to leave the house, Naruto says, "Can I ask you something?" And Hiruzen looks to Naruto before saying, "Of course, Naruto boy." Naruto thinks to himself, do I ask him? Am I doing the right thing? Or should I? But Naruto waves this all off and says, "I have something to tell you. Do you remember 5 years ago when those boys were, not 5 years. No, yeah. You know what? Yeah. No, 4 years ago. 4 years. I want Naruto to be 9. Do you remember 4 years ago when those boys disappeared? 5? And Hiruzen would look at Naruto and say, "Yeah, what about them?" Naruto would say, "That was me." Slowly, in such a soft tone that Hiruzen had to backtrack and say, "What did you say, Naruto?" And Naruto says, "It was me. I killed them. I lost control. This power, this strange power inside of me, it let loose and I couldn't control it. I couldn't stop it. I didn't mean to." And Hiruzen looks to Naruto and is worried, like he's thinking to himself that the power of the Nine Tails is coming through. And from this moment, Hiruzen would ask him, "No." And from here, Naruto says, "It's this strange black orb. It sucked them in. It was like a black hole." And from here, Hiruzen thinks, black hole? That's nothing like what Jinchuriki's experienced. He would grab Naruto, take him with him to the battlefield, where he would ask Naruto to display this same ability. And Naruto, looking at Hiruzen, would say, "I'm not sure if I can. I've been so scared to use this power ever since it happened. I have very little control over it." And Hiruzen says, "That's not what we're focusing on now. I just want to see it, Naruto, because it'd be better for you to control this power than to let it run amok and potentially destroy everything around you." Naruto looks to Hiruzen, and Hiruzen would put his hand on Naruto's shoulder as he would say, "I'm here. The Hokage's here. I can bail you out if all else fails." And Naruto finally, since the last time that he used this ability, would finally feel peace, extending his arm out, opening his palm as he would let out a small black orb that would begin sucking in the trees. And Hiruzen would watch this as he would think to himself, a black hole. How did this ability come? Hiruzen has no clue, but Hiruzen would dub this ability a black hole Kekkei Genkai, as Hiruzen looks to Naruto and says that ability, it's magnificent. Something like that doesn't come every often. A Kekkei Genkai as powerful as this is a rarity that would probably only come every million years. And Naruto looks to Hiruzen as he asks him if he's afraid. Hiruzen says, "Naruto, you need to start training this ability. This could be your ticket to the good life. You train this, you harness this power, you could be the most powerful ninja in all of history." And Naruto, looking to Hiruzen, would think to himself that that's not what he wants, but he's gonna do what the Hokage tells him to. This version of Naruto doesn't even think, "Oh, I want to become Kage," because he just feels so bad about what he did. And he still hasn't quite gotten over it. Gotten over the fear of killing people, gotten over the fear of using this ability. But it'll come, guys. It'll come. Trust. Regardless, though, eventually Naruto would spend the next 2 years training on this ability, right? Because he's 9, so 10, 11. And once Naruto makes it to the age of 11, and no, he's like 10 about to turn 11, right? He's like 10 about to turn 11, and Naruto would have a question asked to him by Hiruzen. As Naruto has been getting out of the academy every day, Naruto would go to Hiruzen for some extra training. Now, this training would compose of taijutsu, shuriken throwing, kunai throwing. It would also compose of training his Kekkei Genkai, and even teaching Naruto the basics of chakra control. So Naruto's pretty adept at that stuff. And Naruto is about Anbu levels of strength right now just because he's trained under Hiruzen personally, right? And because of this, Naruto has gotten very powerful to the point where Hiruzen would have ended up deciding to actually appoint Naruto into the Anbu to go on to a very, very simple mission. They need to capture and bring back a ninja who has learned some secrets of the Hidden Leaf Village, right? And this ninja would be Mizuki. This would happen a lot earlier than in canon, just because I want a character to use to be able to showcase Naruto's powers, and because I want finally for Naruto to see that his powers, they're not evil, they're good. But what would pretty much end up happening here is Naruto would actually end up pretty much, Naruto would find himself with the Anbu uniform on and looking at himself with the mask on, as he just simply thinks to himself that he doesn't want to do this, but Hokage's orders, I guess. He would go along with the mission, and about a week would pass until they would finally get solid intel on the enemy ninja. Naruto from here would think to himself that, he needs to do what he has to do. And when they would find Mizuki, he would actually be surrounded by a multitude of other ninjas who he was actually going to be giving that information up to. And Mizuki, as they would decide to ambush him, would actually have all of these other ninjas there to protect him. Now, all of them would immediately rush in at the direction of Naruto's companions, his Anbu, companions, and it would be 3 of them. Now, one of them would immediately lunge into battle, and he would immediately be killed by Mizuki using a giant shuriken to actually catch him off guard, as the Anbu member would fall to the ground, and Naruto would simply watch as his other 2 companions would rush in and immediately get captured. Naruto from here would have one of 2 choices: run or save them. And Naruto would be stunned in fear because this is his first mission and he didn't expect something like this to happen. They were the ones that got ambushed, not the other way around. But Naruto, as he watches, he would simply think to himself, what do I do? And it would be from here that one of the Anbu members would say, Naruto, do it, or we're all gonna die here. And Naruto would simply not be able to. That fear inside of his heart would get to him, and Naruto would think, do I do it, do I do it, do I not? As everything would begin going in slow motion, and Naruto just extends his arm out, eyes closed, and sucks in Mizuki, as Mizuki gets torn to shreds, and a bunch of other people who were with Mizuki begin getting killed. Eventually, the 2 Anbu members would be let go, as the other men would try to run away, and Naruto closes that black hole and opens another one, or actually no, he just closes it, and from here the Anbu member rush at the men who had actually held them and would actually end up just decapitating them, taking Mizuki's body back to the Hidden Leaf Village, where Naruto would be congratulated heavily, and Naruto would be thanked profusely by the Anbu members, as they would tell him, you saved our lives. If it wasn't for that power of yours, we'd be dead. As Naruto thinks to himself finally that power just did some good. That maybe, just maybe, this power isn't as bad as it seems. But for now, Naruto returned to the village, and when he does return to the village, Naruto would get praised by Hokage, by a bunch of the Anbu members that were there, and for the following year until Naruto turns 12 years old, Naruto would spend this year pretty much working on his basic ninja skills and getting over that fear of using his black hole Kekkei Genkai, actually turning it into his biggest strength. It's kind of like other people have, their own weaknesses. I used to be very bad at doing layups in basketball, but now that's like my main thing. And I used to be horrible at threes, but I'm getting really decent at them, right? So you kind of got to learn to turn your weaknesses into your strengths. Now, eventually we would get to the point in time where Naruto finds himself, in the academy, and Naruto hasn't been going for a year, so they all thought that he died or something because Naruto just disappeared for no reason. But Naruto, one day when the finals teams would be announced, would end up walking into the classroom, and Iruka would say, Naruto, you're back, as he's just like, take a seat. And from here Naruto does, as Iruka would say, all right, so the teams of this year is going to be Team 7, Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Naruto Uzumaki. As Naruto looks to the direction of Sasuke and Sakura looks to Naruto thinking to herself that that's Naruto? he looks a lot different than before. Naruto's hair would be long in fashion, and he would have it down, not spiked up. He would kind of just brush it down. Eventually his hair learned to just stay that way, and that's how Naruto likes to keep his look. He also just likes to wear a basic plain black hoodie with black pants and, the casual, shinobi like slides that they have, like the sandals or shoes or whatever, right? And Naruto just enters the classroom, and, from here, they would just have to sit there and wait for Kakashi to arrive. Now, when Kakashi does, they would do their introductions, and once taken care of that, Naruto would proceed to, just go out and leave the area, considering that his introduction would simply consist of, I have a dream to become powerful and control my abilities to save the world. And from here, Sasuke's, he's still an emo, and Sakura, she's a trash bag, so... And they continue on with their days, right? They all go off and they try to do their own things, and depending on who they are, it would depend on what they do. Naruto would go off on a mission, a very, very quick one indeed, which would just be delivering our scroll, something he could do between nighttime, come back, get a couple of hours of rest, considering that the team captain is Kakashi, and so he would do that. The next day after returning from the mission, Naruto would be tired, so when Kakashi was taking his time arriving and they had like an extra 3 hours before he got there, Naruto just passes out by a tree stump, as eventually he would be awoken by Kakashi, who would wave in front of him and be like, Naruto, Naruto. And from here, Naruto wakes up as he's like, and Kakashi's like, all right, good, you're awake. As from here, Kakashi goes on to explain the rules of the bell test, and eventually Kakashi would just say, go. As Naruto, instead of just standing there and, immediately rushing at him, Naruto would do one thing differently. He would just stand there, right? He would not rush at him, but he would also just stand there, right? Now, Naruto looks straight at Kakashi and he thinks to himself how he should handle this situation. But Naruto is just like, whatever. And from here, Naruto goes on to pretty much look at Kakashi and say, I hope you're able to, keep up. And from here, Naruto grabs his blade, as it would be a short sword, one similar to the one that Kakashi had back in his Anbu days, as Naruto rushes in at Kakashi, and Kakashi takes out a kunai as they clash, spinning blades with each other and clashing over and over and over in Naruto-esque fashion. Eventually some distance would be created, as Kakashi would shoot a fire style jutsu at Naruto, which Naruto would jump over only to shoot a wind style bullet, right? As the bullet would hit the ground, leaving a small crater, and Kakashi would dodge out of the way, as he would immediately rush back in and they would clash once more. Naruto, as of this moment, would hold his hand out as he creates a black hole that would pull Kakashi back, but he would close it before Kakashi could be torn to shreds, right? And Kakashi would be like, as he doesn't think about that, right? He realizes that Naruto did that on purpose, right? Like, he didn't want to kill him, because if Naruto truly wanted to, he could have just opened a powerful black hole and just sucked Kakashi into it, just destroying him, right? But because Naruto doesn't fight that way, he only used that to throw him off guard. Eventually, Naruto would open a black hole in front of him, which would actually be interesting, because black holes don't affect Naruto. They don't pull him and they don't repel him, right? And so, when the black hole would get open, Kakashi would get flung towards that direction without being able to control his body, and he would flail around as Naruto rushes in, simultaneously grabbing the bell and closing his palm, leading to the black hole closing, as Kakashi lands on the ground with sweat coming down his forehead. Naruto grabs both bells, tossing them to Sasuke and Sakura and saying to them, "We did it, guys." As from here, Kakashi would just be like, bro, like his life just literally flashed before his eyes. How else can I put this? And Kakashi's just on the ground breathing heavily, thinking to himself that Naruto is truly a monster. Like, a monster that he, unlike anything that Kakashi thought he was ever going to have to see in his life, right? It was crazy to him. But what would pretty much end up happening from here is that Naruto would end up finding himself in a strange situation, because now, once Kakashi wakes up, Kakashi would think to himself that while Naruto is powerful enough to be a Jonin at this point, the other team members didn't do a thing. Sasuke didn't even come down and, at the very minimum, shoot a fire style. So Kakashi thinks to himself that maybe they might not be allowed to class. But Naruto did give them the bells and was willing to go back to the academy for them. So ultimately Kakashi ends up passing them and truly does tell them the whole point of this exercise, which was, drumroll please, teamwork, right? He tells them the truth of this exam and it was teamwork, and they're all like, oh, I guess that makes sense, right? And from here, Kakashi would go on to pretty much tell them that for this time, he's gonna just let them pass, but next time, it's not gonna be so easy. You know, he's like, next time I'll stump you for sure. Tell me if you guys get that reference. Like, I used to watch a bunch of PBS as a kid, so you know, you might get it, you might not. You know, you might not be old enough. But anyways, though, what would end up happening after this is Naruto would end up finding himself back at Ichiraku Ramen, right? He's eating a bowl of ramen, and Naruto's just staying kind of like a little bit more on the melatonin, quiet, like just casual anime protagonist, like just cool and silent mode. And you know, he just says to Ichiraku, can I get another one, please? As Ichiraku cooks him up, and he's like, so Naruto, you know, how you've been? And Naruto's like, oh, you know, I've been good. And from here, he's like, how about you? And you know, Ichiraku would be like, I've been doing great myself. Naruto's like, that's good to hear, as he slams money on the table, and it would actually be a lot more than, you know, it was actually supposed to be. And Naruto walks off as Ichiraku's like, wait, you forgot. As Naruto's like, keep the change. And he just walks off with his hands in his pockets. Naruto's walking through the town as a bunch of girls would begin whispering, laughing, and smiling as they look to Naruto, as you know, they're all just like saying to each other within the friend group, oh, he's so cute, right? And Naruto just goes home, where he would lay all of his stuff down, go to sleep, and again he has that dream. Naruto hasn't been able to kill somebody with the black hole Kekkei Genkai ever since the day that the day that he, you know, saved his Anbu members. But he knows that that day will eventually come, and Naruto's scared of it, because Naruto, as much as he has killed now because he's in the Anbu, he doesn't want to kill in that fashion, because every time he does, he feels like he's killing those kids all over again. And that's something that has haunted Naruto every single day.